Assalamu-Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما. صلى اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم أنت ربي لا إله إلا أنت خلقتني وأنا عبدك وأنا على عهدك ووعدك ما استطعت. أعوذ بك من شر ما صنعت. أبوء لك بنعمتك علي وأبوء بذنبي فاغفر لي لأنه لا يغفر الذنوب إلا أنت. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. We give our praise in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We praise Him and we ask His help and we seek His forgiveness. And we seek refuge in Allah from the evil inside us and from the evil consequences of our bad actions. Whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides, no one can misguide. Whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala leads to go astray, no one can guide. I testify that there is no God to the worship of Allah, and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the messenger of Allah. Inshallah, we'll continue our halaqah at the door of Jannah. And today, inshallah, we're going to talk about something very special, something very small, but it has a lot of reward. It's considered to be one of the easiest forms of worship, but it brings a lot of honor and a lot of reward for us. And I think, brothers and sisters, is remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, dhikrullah. Imam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah wrote, remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to the heart what water is to fish. Remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to the heart what water is to fish. And what happens to a fish when he takes it out of water? It dies. So if you take the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the heart, or if the heart is neglecting the remembrance, the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, become a dead heart. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, مَثَلُ الَّذِي يَذْكُرُ رَبَّهُ وَمَثَلُ الَّذِي لَا يَذْكُرُ كَالْحَيِّ وَالْمَيِّتِ. The example or the difference between the person who makes a mention of Allah and the person who does not make a mention of Allah is like the living and the dead. It's like the living and the dead. So the person who makes a mention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the living one, even if he's paralyzed. And the person who does not make a mention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is dead, even if he walks among people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبُ. By the remembrance or inner remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the hearts will find its ease, its comfort, its peace, its tranquility. What does he say? La ilaha illallah. Right? Just take a deep breath right now. Really. Release it and say La ilaha illallah. Feels good. Feels good. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, خَيْرُ مَا قُلْتُ أَنَا وَالنَّبِيِّينَ مِنْ قَبْلِ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا. The best thing I said, and the best thing that all the prophets and the messengers before me said is, La ilaha illallah. Ya akhi, هَذَا مَا قَالَهُ رَبُّنَا. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. Hearts will find peace and tranquility in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, مَنْ أَكْثَرَ ذِكْرُ اللَّهِ أَحَبَّهُ اللَّهِ. The person who makes a mention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all the time will gain the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will gain the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what happens if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you? In another hadith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that if Allah loves someone, the hadith al-Qudsi, وَإِذَا أَحْبَبْتَهُ, if I love someone, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves him, كُنْتُ سَمْعَهُ الَّذِي يَسْمَعُ بِهِ. I'll be his hearing which he hears with, his seeing which he sees with, his hand which he strikes with, his foot which he walks with. That's if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you, ينادي جبريل يا جبريل إني أحب فلانا أحبه. Oh Jibreel, I love so and so. I love so and so. And Allah will mention your name. So love him. Then Jibreel will love you. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put love in the hearts of people for you. Right? فَيُضْرَبُ لَهُ الْقَبُولُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Then he will be granted قبول, acceptance, success. Ya akhi, you go somewhere, everything opens up for you. You meet some people, they sit with you, they talk with you, they don't want to finish, they don't want to stop. They want you to stay with them forever. And if you want to leave, I gotta go. Ya akhi, let's just stay for 5 minutes. It happened to every one of us, right? How many times you meet people for the first time, and you feel like connection right away. And sometimes we ask them, have we met before? I feel like we've met before. I think I've seen you before. That's the acceptance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The qabool. That would happen if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, a way to gain this love of Allah is to be from al-dhakireen. Is to be from those who makes a mention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those who remember in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all the time. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in the night journey, رحلة الإسراء والمعراج, he says, مررت برجل في الإسراء والمعراج معلق بالعرش. I passed a man in the Isra wal-Mi'raj, I passed a man who was holding to the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فقلت من هو؟ أهو ملك? The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was asking, is that an angel? فقيل لا. It was said, no. أهو نبي? قيل لا. No. Is he a prophet? And they said, no. He's not a prophet. ولكنه كان في الدنيا رجل كان في الدنيا لسانه رطب بذكر الله وقلبه معلق بالمسجد. But this man, his tongue used to be wet, moist by the dhikr, with the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? His tongue used to be moist with the zikr of Allah, with the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he used to be connected to the masajid. And that's why he's in that state. That's why he's in that high rank. He's attached to the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he showed us that this is such an easy, one of the easiest forms of worship. So easy. You don't have to come to the masjid. You don't have to get up at night. You don't have to go somewhere. All you have to do is just move your tongue. Instead of us talking about others, backbiting others, some of us sometimes will be in the cars, with our friends or our families or something. Don't be talking about others. How about this? When you go home, if you have your family with you, just say La ilaha illallah once we get into the car until we get home. Just La ilaha illallah. Keep saying La ilaha illallah. سئل ابن الصلاح رحمه الله عن القدر الذي يصير به العبد من الذاكرين الله كثيرا. Ibn Salah was asked once, what is the amount of dhikr that I should do in order to be among those who mention Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He said, إذا واظب على الأذكار في الصباح والمساء فهو من الذاكرين. If he continued saying the dhikr in the morning and the dhikr at night, so he's from the dhakir. He's from those who from those who make a mention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the azkar in the sabah and the azkar in the morning and at night doesn't really take 5 minutes maybe. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night. That's it. You feel comfortable. Wallahi, it's like a painkiller. When you say La ilaha illallah, when you say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, when you say La ilaha illallah, wahdahu la sharika lah, lahu al-mulk wa lahu al-hamd wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. Wallahi, it's like a painkiller. Wallahi, and I will show. I'm not giving an example. It is a painkiller, and I will tell you how. Imam As-Subki rahimahullah, was asked about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's hadith. He said, إِذَا رَأَيْتُمْ أَهْلَ الْبَلَاءِ فَاسْأَلُوا اللَّهَ الْعَافِيَةِ. If you see the people of bala, if you see the people of tribulation, of hardship, فَاسْأَلُوا اللَّهَ الْعَافِيَةِ. Then ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant you the well-being. He said, أَهْلُ الْبَلَاءِ هُمُ الْغَافِلُونَ عَنْ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. The people of bala, the people of tribulation, are those who are neglectful in the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They don't make a dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, one time they said, it's a story, I don't know how authentic is that, but I heard it once from a sheikh overseas. He said there was an Indian fisherman who took his son, to fish. And then he said to his son, you know, all the fish that we catch, the moment when we catch them, they are in a state of heedlessness from the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why we catch them. So they caught some fish. And when they were about to leave, the fisherman, the father asked his son, where's the fish? Where are all the fish we caught? He said, I threw them back in the water. He said, why did you do that? Because I don't want you to eat something that is neglectful from the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even if it's not authentic or just like a story, it has a meaning. Right? It has a meaning. Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah, in one of his book, Al-Wabil al-Sayyid, he wrote about nearly 80 benefits that come with the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you want to read a good book about dhikr, Al-Wabil al-Sayyid, that book is by Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah. Abu Darda rahimahullah, one of the Sahaba of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, narrated a hadith that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, لا يبعثن الله أقواما يوم القيامة في وجوههم النور على منابر من نور يغبطهم الناس ليسوا بأنبياء ولا شهداء. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, a group of people will come in the last day, their faces are glowing, lighting, and then they will be standing in a pulpit made of light. يغبطهم الناس means that the people will envy them. ليسوا أنبياء, they are not prophets. ولا شهداء, they're not شهداء. ولكن فجثى أعرابي على ركبتيه. One of the Bedouin, he went down on his knees. وقال صفهم لنا يا رسول الله. Oh Messenger of Allah, describe him for us. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم المتحابون في الله. Those who love one another. Here, listen to this carefully. Amazing hadith. A group of people will come in the last day. Their faces are gloomy. They'll be standing in members like a pulpit made of light. People will envy them. They are not prophets. They are not shuhada. One of the people who were around Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam at this time when he was saying the hadith, he went down on his knees just because of the shock. He says, Ya Rasulullah, describe it for us. He said, Al-mutahabun fillah, those who love one another in the cause of Allah. Min qaba'il shatta wa biladin wa madain shatta. They come from different countries. They come from different backgrounds, different cultures, different towns, right? Like us, right? Just like us. They love one another in the cause of Allah. Although they come from different backgrounds, and different countries, and different cities, يَجْتَمِعُونَ عَلَى ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. They get together to make a mention of Allah. Imagine this. Maybe, Wallahu a'lam, perhaps because of this night, you'll be one of those people. Hadith just like straightforward, speaking about us. Seriously, speaking about us. You know, the Prophet says it's not you or you. He's saying a group of people will come in the last day. coming from different cultures, they get together, they love one another for the sake of Allah, they get together to make a dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the benefits of making dhikr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Such an easy, I'm going to repeat this, such an easy form of worship. Sayyidina Yunus alayhi salam, Sayyidina Yunus alayhi salam, فلولا أن كان من المسبحين للبث في بطنه إلى يوم يبعثون. Had he not been from those who make a mention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he would have stayed in the belly in the whale until the last day. So his tasbih was his way out. And this is a prophet of Allah. His tasbih, his dhikr of Allah, was his exit from the dhulumat. Not only dhulumat, not only one dark. He says, فَنَادَى فِي الظُّلُمَاتِ. The plural of dhulma, the plural of darkness. And the Mufassirin said dhulumat, that the first dhulma, that he was in the belly of the whale. The second darkness, that he was in the ocean. And the third darkness, that he was at night. So he invoked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from down deep that ocean, in the belly of the whale. But he was from al-musabbihin. He was from those who makes a mention of Allah. He was from those who make a mention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala got him out just because of that. They said Ibrahim ibn Adham, one time he went to visit the masjid of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then he stayed at night. And just like Dr. Walid, he kicks us out sometimes. At night, he kicks us out. Let's get out of here, we need to close the masjid. Right? Something similar happened. Soldiers came and they said to Ibrahim ibn Adham, you need to leave because we will lock the masjid. He said, I'm coming from distance and I don't have anywhere to go. I would like to stay in the masjid of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They said, not allowed. They started to argue, they carried him and they threw him out in the street. A man was just passing by. And he said, hey, Miskeen, come. What's going on with you? He told him the story. He says, I will host you. Come with me. He said, okay, Jazakallahu khair. In their way back, in their way home, this man kept saying, Bismillah, Alhamdulillah. Bismillah, Alhamdulillah. Bismillah, Alhamdulillah. They arrived to the house, he opened the house, Bismillah, Alhamdulillah. He said to him, and he said, and he started making some food for him. While he was making the food, Bismillah, Alhamdulillah. So Ibrahim ibn Adam, a scholar, and he said, I should teach this man something. And he said, Ya akhi, you don't know anything but Bismillah and Alhamdulillah. He said, Alhamdulillah, I've been saying it for 10 years. And everything I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for it, by the name of Bismillah and Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants it for me. He gives it to me. Except one thing. Except one thing. He said, what that thing? He says, to see Ibrahim ibn Adham. He said, فَبَكَى إِبْرَاهِيمُ بْنِ أَدْهَمْ وَقَالَ وَاللَّهِ لَإِنَّكَ خَيْرٌ مِنْ إِبْرَاهِيمُ وَمِنْ الْأَرْضِ مِنْ إِبْرَاهِيمُ. By Allah, you are better than Ibrahim, and an earth full of people like Ibrahim. And the man says, don't say that. Ibrahim, this is one of the most famous scholars. Don't say that, Ibrahim. Wallahi, he says, Wallahi, لَقَدْ آتَاكَ اللَّهُ بِإِبْرَاهِيمُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Ibrahim to be thrown at your feet in the street because of what you were saying. Bismillah, Alhamdulillah. Dhikr. Such an easy, he didn't have to say anything. Did you go anywhere? He just said, Bismillah, starts it. He just moves his tongue. That's it. Bismillah, Alhamdulillah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, one time he said to the Sahaba, أَلَا أُخْبِرُكُمْ, shouldn't I tell you about the vast acts of worship? أَلَا أُخْبِرُكُمْ عَنْ فضل من فضائل هذا الدين قالوا بلى يا رسول الله. And then he said, ألا أخبركم بخير أعمالكم, the best of your actions. وأزكاها عند مليككم, the most purified actions before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or in the sight of Allah. وأرفعها في درجاتكم, and is the highest rank of the highest rank before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وخير لكم, it's better for you. وخير لكم من إنفاق الذهب والورق, it's better for you than to spend it in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, spending gold, currency in the sight for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وخير لكم من أن تلقوا عدوكم, it's even better than confronting your enemies. فيضربون أعناقكم وتضربون أعناقهم. It's better than even confronting your enemies and fighting them and striking their necks and they striking your neck. قالوا بلى يا رسول الله. قال ذكر الله, the dhikr of Allah, the dhikr of Allah. Remember we said like a few minutes ago that dhikr is a painkiller. And I said I'm not even exaggerating, but it is a painkiller. Sayyidah Fatima radiallahu anha, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam daughter. She asked Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam once to give her some money or give her a mate or a servant to help her at home. She cannot fulfill the duties, or she's just tired. You know, she works a lot at home. She's tired. She asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to help her with a mate or a servant or something. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to her and her husband Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib, he said to them, shouldn't I tell you about something that is better than having a khadim, better than having a servant in your house? And this is for every single one of us, not only for Sayyidah Fatima and Sayyidina Ali. He told her, shouldn't I tell you about something that is better than having a servant? In other words, shouldn't I tell you about the painkiller that will take all this pain away? She said, Bala ya Rasulullah, tell us. He says, أن تسبحها 33. Say Subhanallah 33 times. And to praise Allah, say Alhamdulillah 33 times. And to say Allahu Akbar 34 times. So 100 times. 33 tasbihah, 33 tahmeedah, and 34 takbirah. 33 Subhanallah, 33 Alhamdulillah, 34 Allahu Akbar. And Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu, he says, فَمَا تَرَكْتُهَا أَبَدًا. And ever since Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam advised us to do that, I always, every night before I go to bed, I used to say it. They said, حَتَّى يَوْمَ صِفِّينَ, even the day of Siffin, during the fitna, he said, حَتَّى فِي يَوْمِ صِفِّينَ, even that night of Siffin, I didn't forget to say it. Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allah. Maybe some of us know this, but how many of us actually do that before they go to bed? That's the thing. Right? I'm not saying anything new. I'm sure that most of you know these things. But who actually transformed the deen into action? The commands of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to actions. Right. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam لقي إبراهيم الخليل. He met Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam during al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. وقال إبراهيم عليه السلام يا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم أقرئ مني السلام إلى أمتك. The Prophet Ibrahim عليه السلام saying السلام عليكم. And we say وعليك السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. He said أقرئ مني السلام إلى أمتك وقل لهم, and told them أن الجنة قيعان وغراسها سبحان الله والحمد لله والله أكبر. Jannah is beautiful. It's beautiful. Right? We already talked about Jannah, right? And then he said, وَغَرْسُهَا, the plant of the Jannah is Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Wallahu Akbar. Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Wallahu Akbar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَاذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرُكُمْ. Make a mention of me, I will make a mention of you. Make a mention of me, I will make a mention of you. And as we said, the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one of the easiest forms of worship. The mercy and honor that it brings cannot be achieved by any other means. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, he narrated a hadith that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Man qala, la ilaha illallah, whoever recites, la ilaha illallah, wahdahu la sharika lah, there is no God but He is the one, having no partner with Him. وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. To Him belongs everything and all praise is due to Him, and He is powerful over everything. 100 times if you say these words, لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. Again, لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. 100 times, 100 times a day, what would happen? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, there is a reward equal, his reward is equal to 310 slaves for him, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And 100 good deeds are recorded for him, and another 100 wrong actions are removed from his record. Just saying La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu lahu al-mulku wa lahu al-hamdu wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. Imagine if you say that every day, 100 times, or even more. You'll be like, someone who freed 10 slaves, and he just gained 100 good deeds, and another 100 bad deeds will be removed from his record. Right? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam also said, narrated by Jabir ibn Abdullah radiallahu anhu, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, whoever recites the words, glory be to Allah, subhanallah, and His is the praise, subhanallah wa bihamdih, will have a palm tree planted for him in a garden. He will have a palm tree planted for him in Jannah, inshallah. Ya akhi, subhanallah, as we started the halaqah with dhikrullah, remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings tranquility to your hearts. Remembrance of Allah also is the remedy for hard hearts. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam once was asked by a man, he says, Ya Rasulullah, actually, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إِنَّ الْقَلْبَ يَصْدَقُ كَمَا يَصْدَقُ الْحَدِيدِ. The heart gets rusty like iron. And then one of the people says, وَمَا جَلَاؤُهُ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. How can we fix this? How can we remove this rust? فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بقراءة القرآن وذكر الله. To remove this rust is by reciting the Quran and remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وذكر الله أكبر. The remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is greatest. Also, making a mention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will increase the servant's good witnesses in the day of resurrection. Ya akhi, making a mention, if making a mention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that will be the only benefit. If it's only a protection from backbiting people or lying, that's enough. Seriously, that's enough. There are a lot of benefits of making dhikr. A lot of benefits. They said, al-falah fi ad-darayn, to be granted success in life and also in the next life. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. Make a mention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a lot in order to be from the successful one. And so the successful ones here are the successful in this life and also in the hereafter. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, one time he passed a mountain. And this mountain, they used to call him Jumdan. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم سيروا فهذا جمدان سبق المفردون قالوا وما المفردون يا رسول الله قال الذاكرون الله كثيرا والذاكرات. Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم just passed a mountain and he said يعني سبق, which means that there are certain people have already attained a high rank, high level with Allah. They said, who are these people, O Messenger of Allah? He said, الذاكرون الله كثيرا والذاكرات. Those males and females who make a mention of Allah subhanahu, who make a mention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all the time. And see, he just mentioned this mountain, and the reason of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, just when he passing this mountain and saying this hadith, that he wanted the companions to be like mountains. He wants us to be like mountains when it comes to the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That the mountains are very strong. So he wants you to be strong in the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He doesn't want you to neglect the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? And the mountain also, this particular mountain that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned in this hadith, they said there was no mountains around him. Which means that the people who make a mention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when they get alone, when they are alone, when there is nobody around, they say, Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. I used to, in Egypt, I used to go to a shaykh to learn from him, Quran and fiqh and other things. His name was Sheikh Mursi, and Allah have mercy. He's one of the most knowledgeable people I've ever met in my life. And Sheikh Mursi was a great scholar, really. He was a great scholar. He was in prison with Sheikh al-Qaradawi. And they said that تكلم مرسي حسين جوهر يسكت الجميع بما فيهم القرضاء. When the Sheikh Mursi speaks, everybody just becomes silent. Everybody becomes silent, including Qaradawi, Sheikh Qaradawi. His wife, when I used to go to his house, me and other kids, and I used to see his wife and how she used to cook. Wallahi al-Azim. She used to say Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, everything that she does. Bismillah, Bismillah. She'll be staring at food and Bismillah, Bismillah, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Wallahi al-Azim. Food, water, when she used to clean the house. When you eat there, if Allah loves you, and you eat, it's wallahi the best food. The best food. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name is mentioned in the food. When they serve the food, how many of us actually do that? If you cook, you must do that. If your wife does, if she does the cook, you have to tell her to say these things. In the food, say Bismillah. Have the niyyah of, healing. Right? The niyyah of cure. Most of the food that we eat nowadays is just horrible food. It's very horrible food. Talking about food today, right? I was reading lately about fast food. And I found an article that was about fast food. They said America spent $168 billion, that's with B, $168 billion in 2011 on fast food. In 2011, America spent $168 billion on fast food. I hope that you don't eat that food. Because it's a disease-causing food. It's not a healthy food. What were we saying here about this? So, Sheikh Mursi, Allah have mercy on him. So make sure that you make a mention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your food, your clothes, everything that you do. When you get up in the morning, say Bismillah. When you open the door, when you leave, say the Afkar. When you turn on your car, say Bismillah. Or say the adhkar. I mean, it's so easy now. They have all these smartphones and all these apps now, dhikr apps. You can just download it. That's it. And just like, wallah, 5 minutes. It won't take more than 5 minutes to say the adhkar in the morning and say the adhkar. And then you will get to learn what to do when you leave the masjid, what to say when you enter the masjid, what you say when you leave the restroom, when you enter there. I mean, people nowadays, they'll be laughing about these things. When they hear you say this thing, they'll be laughing at you. Saying dhikr after when you leave the restroom, please give me a break. SubhanAllah. One time they said, this is a hadith actually, that 2 shaitans, they met one another. One, it was really well nourished, very strong, and the other one so skinny and thin and just like dying, starving. I said, what's wrong with you? He says, the person I'm with, and once he enters the house, he says, Bismillah, so I stay out. Because if you don't say Bismillah when you enter the house, the shaitan, he enters the house with you. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, greet yourself. Even if there is nobody in the house, greet yourself. Enter the house if you live. If you're a single person, enter the house, say Bismillah, Assalamu-o-Alaikum. You know, when he eats, he makes a mention of Allah and eat with him. When he drinks, even when he have like sexual relation with his wife, he says Bismillah. Allahumma ganimna shaitan wa ganimna shaitan minna. So I don't, because the shaitan will do that. If you don't say this dua, the shaitan will have the joy that you have. Seriously. And that's for both men and women. And then the other person says, oh, I'm with someone, enters the house and doesn't say Alhamdulillah, doesn't say Bismillah, he eats, I eat with him, he drinks, I drink with him, even he sleeps with his wife, sleep with her, I'm just enjoying my time. Right? So, and these things, like I said, Allah is just such an easy act of worship. They said one of the benefits of making dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was sabab لذكر الله لعبده. It would be a reason for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make a mention of you. He said, فَاذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرْكُمْ. Make a mention of me, I will make a mention of you. And there is a hadith that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam narrated. It's a hadith Qudsi that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَنَا عِنْدَ حُسْنِ ظَنِّ عَبِدِي بِي. I am in the opinion of my servant. وَأَنَا مَعَهُ إِنْ ذَكَرَنِي. And I will be with him if he makes a mention of me. فَإِنْ ذَكَرَنِي فِي مَلَئٍ ذَكَرْتُهُ فِي مَلَئٍ خَيْرٌ مِنْهُ. If he makes a mention of me in a gathering, I will make a mention of him in a greater gathering. If you make a mention of Allah in a gathering, Allah will make a mention of you in a greater, bigger gathering. He will say so and so. Imagine that Allah will say your name. Muhammad, Mustafa, Ahmad, Ibrahim. He did that. He said, Subhanallah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will boast about you in a greater gathering. Right. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَنَا مَعَ عَبْدِي إِنْ ذَكَرَنِي وَتَحَرَّكَتْ بِهِ شَفَتَانِ. One of the benefits that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be with you. Al-Ma'in, Allah will be with you. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with you, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with you, who cares who will be against you? If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with you. أَنَا مَعَ عَبْدِي. I will be with my servant if he makes a mention of me. And if he's just starts to move his tongue, his lips, making a mention of me. Also, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he was asked, Ya Rasulullah, مَا خَيْرُ الْأَعْمَالِ? What are the best deeds? He says, أَن تَمُوتَ وَلِسَانُكَ رَطِبٌ بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. The best deed, to die when your tongue is wet by the mention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the mention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another benefit is also the purification of the hearts. And we said that in the beginning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبُ. In the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, hearts will find its tranquility and peace. Also, one of the benefits of making dhikr, النجاة من الغفلة. النجاة من الغفلة. The protection from heedlessness. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَاذْكُرْ رَبَّكَ فِي نَفْسِكَ تَضَرُّعًا خِيفًا ودون الجهر من القول صح؟ بالغدو والآصال ولا تكن من الغافلين. Remember your Lord by your tongue and within yourself, humbly and with fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. بالغدو والآصال, morning and afternoon. ولا تكن من الغافلين, and do not be from those who are neglectful of the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the best dhikr, brothers and sisters, the best dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Quran. Is reciting the Quran. That's the best dhikr. Again, zikr is one of the easiest forms of worship. The mercy and the honor that it brings cannot be achieved by any other means. So are we going to make a mention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah? The last benefit of making a dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Jannah. And that's the reason we pick dhikr, because we're talking about at the door of Jannah, the things will lead us, inshallah, to Jannah. Dhikr is one of the things will lead you to Jannah. Dhikr will be your salvation in the last day. And imagine the scene. People are standing, waiting for reckoning. Standing for how many years? For more than 500 years. Standing. People are sweating. People are hungry, thirsty. Sweat. Some people, the sweat reach their ankles. Some to their knees. Some to their waist. Some يلجمهم العرق إجابة. The sweat will be right up to their mouth. Did you imagine this scene? And all of a sudden, somebody comes. An angel will come. A big list of names. So-and-so, come here. So-and-so, come here. So-and-so, come here. What's happening? These people are going to be under the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya subhanallah. The people from overseas, especially the people of Egypt, will understand this. Men coming out from work at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. Waiting for Zahra al-Ashir, a bus. So hot. So hot. And the bus does not have air or anything like that, but it's better than standing in that heat. And it will take you, once you get into the bus, alhamdulillah, imagine that you will be standing. The sun will be so close to you. How close? A mile away. The sun will be a mile away from our heads. And again, imagine that angel, beautiful angel, will come and say, Muhammad, come. Mustafa, come. Ahmed, come. Well, what's happening? Where are all these people going? Under the shade of Allah. When there is no shade. When there is no shade except the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And imagine when you make it under the shade. Alhamdulillah. 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 We can be from those people, inshallah. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, 7 people will be under the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when there is no shade except the shade of Allah. One of them, وَرَجُلٌ ذَكَرَ اللَّهَ خَالِيًا فَفَاضَتْ عَيْنَاهُ. A man who makes a mention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. خَالِيًا, there is nobody around. He recites some Quran at night. When he makes a mention of Allah at night. making some dhikr. And then he started to weep. Ya Allah. His tears be his salvation in the last day. Because of his tears and the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that led to his tears, he will be under the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when there is no shade except the shade. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the shade. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the Jannah.